10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Virtus Pros turn to
Imber Spirit.
Team Liquid's turn to ban. Virtus Pros turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team Liquid's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team Liquid's turn to pick. Virtus Pros turn to
Grimstroke.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team Liquid's turn to pick. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Virtus Pros turn to...
Send.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team Liquid's turn to bat.
Terrorblade.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Virtus Pros turn to ban. Virtus Pros turn to pick. Team Liquid's turn to pick.
Bad Rider! Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Choose your hero. (10억짜리 900원에 15억짜리 900원에)
Goodness gracious, Papa Ball! Lakad mo to! Lakad mo to! Normally.
VP versus Liquid, a fantastic series to start this final day of EPICENTER with, and you know, 10 players that could all be argued to be pretty much the best at their roles. We're going to see them go head to head in this clash. We're seeing the draft sharpness, we're seeing a little bit of a change up. VP say, hey, we want to go a little late, we're going to play some TB. And Liquid say, we could do that as well. We could push it even further. They're bringing an Arc Warden to the stage. How's it going to fare?
Yeah, so just like you said, they see the opener, right? They see a TA immediately. TA, like the panel's talking about, going to the later stages of the game can sometimes be a bit difficult. I think that's immediately when you see this Tower Blade picked up. Also, they want to get more tower push. They've got the Shadow Shaman already benefiting, and now that's also a pretty damn good target to be Heavenly Graced a lot of times in the game. Sure, sometimes Tower Blades can suffer because your BKB starts getting lower durations and all that into later stages of the game. But if you're Heavenly Graced, then these disables aren't going to be that much of an issue for you. You get Sanking Stunned, it's only going to last like 1 second, something like that. Same thing with the Rubik lift. So I think the Omni Knight could be the real big X factor. And then we throw that on the other side. The Rubik, in particular, could also be that X factor for Liquid, because if he gets some good spell steals in this game, I think he could also have a tremendous impact.
Let's see how things go. Pasha getting a little unlucky, of course. Pasha, I believe the birthday boy. Big day for him, and
What is he?
what a day to start with. It was, unless I believe on the official VP Twitter, yeah, they did shout out that it's the special day for Pasha. So
Aw, that's nice.
what a way to celebrate it, getting to play against Team Liquid in front of the home crowd, which of course is very excited to see VP play once again.
Look how much they're committing to get these bounties. He's put down 280 mana worth of Spark Rates on 2 bounty runes.
I mean, the dude abides. GH will be able to go in and grab them elsewhere. Will be the other 2 for VP, so just a split. 2 for 2, and we'll see what sort of lanes will settle down.
He used like almost his entire mana pool. He's gonna have like 2 Spark Rates when the lane comes to it, but they're actually putting down a full tri-lane to secure this Arc Warden just right off the bat too. Look at the way they're starting. They're actually just starting in the face of the lane just to hit that Bat Rider immediately.
I mean, as the bat, you know, Pasha, how do you sort of play the lane against this tri-lane? Yeah, can you even get a look in, or are we gonna look to sort of early creep skips being happen? Does he need a +1 down here?
He can't do anything versus the tri-lane. He's gonna need a +1 or creep skip, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're gonna bring the +1.
I'm going to change it up. That's this mid lane matchup. Ember versus TA. We've seen it so many times. These two heroes go head to head in the middle lane.
We've seen the TAs, for the most part, take advantage, right? You get a couple levels, you're always spamming your denies, you end up having that last hit advantage, and we've seen some of these TAs actually become like level 7 to level 4, level 5 Ember Spirit in some of the games too, but I don't think that'll be the case here with no one. He's, of course, you know, super experienced on that Ember. And it will just be Mind Control left to his own devices up in that top lane versus a dual lane.
I guess for him, against those 2, it should be all right. Obviously going to be hard for him to really put pressure onto Ramsey's Terrorblade.
He's going to struggle. He's going to struggle.
I mean, he's got a bit of beef fries as Sanking. You could take a few pokes and punches.
He's going to have to manipulate the creep wave somehow, but Roger has boots. He's just going to chase him. He's going to have to salve to survive up here.
Oh.
And
Nice little hide there as well. Gets the full use of it off.
Very nice.
As Roger still doesn't see him from this point. That little hiding spot keeps him totally hidden.
Now he does. Mind Control's going to try to get the wave here, but there's another sentry on Roger too. There's one on Mind Control, but he's out of regen.
All right, I mean, the right click of a Shaman at the start, it certainly hurts. It adds up. 74. Look at that. His own little carry at the moment at this level 1.
And he gets the pull. He just ruined Mind Control's lane completely.
Roger. Perfect control. Mango popped as well, just in case Mind Control tried to come back in, and yeah, you're absolutely right. Does not look to be fun and games for Mind Control up top.
Or for Pasha down bottom. I feel like we've been having this happen more and more. These poor offlaners just really suffering. They have Solo down here to try to help Pasha, so they're gonna start to get something here at some point. They also see the pulls starting.
Seeing in the mid lane. Even farm. 12 for 3, 10 for 3, but Weeha has got these 3 creeps coming in, so very close between the 2 mids. And for the most part, we'll be left as a 1v1 with this focus on the side lanes from both teams, just trying to make sure that both of their late game carries, the Ramsey's Terrorblade, the Miracle Arc Warden, get that required space in this laning stage.
Looks like no one wants to maybe try to set up for a kill on Weeha. He actually was holding skill point, and then Weeha stayed low, and he skilled the Searing Chains. So instead of just going for that slide, he wants to get that extra control. Also, so anybody can rotate in, right? A Shadow Shaman rotation with an Ember, they're going to easily kill that TA.
See Roger, another chase down. Mind Control falling very low at the same time down bottom. GH and Kuro just keeping Passion Solo forced far away from Miracle.
Ramses is cutting off Mind Control.
He looks to be in a lot of trouble here. No spell available. That's your first blood. Ramses, who already was having the greatest amount of farm so far in these lanes, 21 and 13 on the Terrorblade, has just gone and picked himself up first blood as well, all thanks to Roger.
Yeah. Full free farm Terrorblade. We haven't been seeing many Terrorblades, but we know what this hero can do when you do get that amount of farm. And oh my god, Mind Control just gets chunked down to 100 HP as soon as he returns to the lane. Bottom, they have a creep wave coming in. You see they blocked that hard camp. Liquid tried to de-ward it there with the sentry, but they actually weren't able to get it. So this is a double creep wave going into VP's favor as well.
That's going to give them the levels. Help Solo and pass around a lane where they're surely struggling, as you can see, but obviously not quite as much as Mind Control is struggling in that top lane, still yet to hit a single creep. 0 and 0 on the Sand King.
Hey, Strun, GH, he wants to try to prep for something here in the mid lane.
See if they can get the control required. They've got the telekinesis, but an instant TP in from Solo means the Liquid cannot go for any more. No one's fine, salved up as well. He'll continue to be able to stand his ground, try and keep that farm even with that of the Weehar TA.
Mind Control gonna get a little bit of something at the top we see, but Roger just continuously pulling and just ruining that poor Sand King's life.
I mean, is there anything the Liquid can do about that? Do you feel like, could they afford to send a support up top to help him, or do they desperately need both supports down by the Arc Warden still?
You need to defend your Arc Warden. This is the game that your Arc Warden is the most important hero in the game. TA is going to do okay in that mid lane like we were mentioning. It's just up to Mind Control to find his own thing. We see he's going to start, I think, stacking. Yeah, stacking and then just use the stance to farm. At least he's got 2 points in it, so it's that up to 45 damage.
He's not even going to get the bounty rune, Roger, as well, making sure the VP get the majority of the bounty runes at the 5 minutes.
He might even just put a sentry down to just put it like near the camp, so then the camp just keeps hitting Mind Control too if he tries to do it.
This Roger Shaman pick has just been brutal in the laning stage. We've seen it before. This hero incredibly strong at just zoning out certain offlaners and making their laning stage just a living hell.
Ooh, he puts that ward up on the high ground, but there's already a sentry prepared for Mind Control.
We'll be able to get the D-Warp with that Quelling Blade as well. Or if he wants to take it away, or may choose to leave it and try and play for the hope of an Observer being placed down later. With the bigger bounty. As CS continues, Ramses with that 1k lead over the farm of Miracle's Arc Warden. Thanks to that first bird and thanks to just the superior denies he's been able to get in this top lane. Full lane control top.
The unfortunate thing for Mind Control is that he placed that sentry ward earlier and then the Observer ward was placed, so he doesn't actually have vision on the high ground anymore.
Oh, that's
Remember that, so he can't actually see that ward right now that is up there. As Roger's looking for a dive, there's rotations coming in.
They are going to bring back up in now. Hex comes out, they're popping the Metamorphosis. Ramses had got the damage, telekinesis drags him away. Still a few right clicks to go through to Mind Control, but with the Fairy Fire popped, he will be able to hide. Roger's trying to chase him down.
Kuroki's
See if he can bring Mind Control down with him. He's got to start to back off. He's going to turn. He's got another zap. Roger gets the kill. He's going for the TP out. He's going to, oh, not quite make it, but he has baited in GH to stick around, and Ramses is just able to walk in and clean up GH as well. As Roger giving his life to just continue to make sure that this lane is just the absolute dream for Ramses.
Absolutely, just full free farm, and now this is giving space, right? Pasha, both supports left. Now Pasha, he's versus an Arc Warden. He can even look to kill Miracle pretty easily here if he gets an opportunity. When he gets stacked up too much, there's no rotations that can come to help Miracle unless it's one of those cores. So right now you see immediately Arc Warden playing a little bit more careful down in that bottom lane on the mini-map.
Yeah, Pasha sees any sort of chance. He can amp up the pressure, try and force Miracle away. I mean, as it is, yeah, that creep wave coming in, he'll be happy with that one. 3 range creeps as well, going to move in towards Pasha. So some tasty farm for the Bat, who still remains far ahead of Mind Control. Sand King still struggling down there at the very bottom of the net worth. It's a slow start for the Sand King.
Yeah, and the panel mentioned how they wanted them to be off to a good start here on Liquid because they're versus this big Terrorblade, that looming threat. The later the game goes, the more difficult it is.
Ramses.
And Ramses, aggressive sundered.
A great way to start it off. Back up to full and bringing the GH down to half. Rogers looking for the wraparound, see if he can get a grab onto either of them. Mind Control has the Sandstorm. They don't have detection down.
Ooh, little side steps.
But back away. Mind Control continuing to move in aggressively here, feeling confident with the backup of the Grimstroke as well. Kuro comes in, looking for the setup. Burrow strike into Inkswell, that'll do it. Roger caught outside of the tower range. as Liquid bring the two supports top to try and now put a bit of pressure onto this lane. The first 8 minutes has been all VPs.
Yeah, just continuing to give Ramses this full free farm. I think the thing that VP wants to, they're addressing and focusing is making sure the TB farms, of course, but also they have a lot of solutions for TA. So I'm seeing them, they're pinging out, they want to go for a gank here. They have a lot of ways to do so. They have so many ways to break the refraction in this game between Bat Rider as well as the Ember Spirit. They can easily look to set those up, but Weehaw will be able to run away this time.
Kuro's movements have been spotting out here by the ward. They do have 2 wards down in VP's jungle there, Liquid, but
look at the wards in this. There's 5 observer wards down for VP right now. Liquid also gets these 2 deep observer wards, but the information on the map for both sides is absurdly high right now.
Obviously both trying to move towards mid. GH trying to poke. Roger could come in with the counter play, but GH already able to get back. Roger won't quite be able to get the grab. They're just forcing any potential threat away from the Ember Spirit, allowing no one to continue to soak up the farm and XP. Level 7 as well. Yeah,
GH just wants to soak mid XP though. He's just sitting here while Weehaw farms the Ancients next to him. So he's actually getting experience as well from those Ancients on that Rubik.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
As top, Mind Control gets a stun, but he is very low.
Cannot afford to stay near to try and get an Ink Swell proc onto Ramses. It's far too risky. Is Ramses as well. Look at the timing. Sunder's nearly back for him. Is low on the mana though, so.
See the build he went for too? Quad Wraith Band. Just in case of any aggression that comes to his lane, he's going to be able to deal with it like this.
Oh yeah,
with
he
this build.
can kill. He can absolutely kill, and especially with Roger getting these sort of wraparounds. Looking towards Mind Control, 1 hit from the range of his Metamorphosis and that illusion out. They get the kill again onto Mind Control. Kuro's trying to run away, but Ramses is going to look to try and chase this down. He only needs a couple of punches to kill Kuro. Kuro is pretty speedy though. Still alive for now. Down bottom, same time, BP amping up the pressure on both lanes at the same time. They will manage to finish off Kuro, but they get the bigger kill as well down bottom. Miracle goes down. They do find Pasha as he does die afterwards, but still, the kills just favoring VP every single time. No one even able to get stuck in as well as he finds GH in Liquid's jungle. 7-3, 2K lead.
And they may have killed Pasha, but nobody actually got experience for the kill. They got gold, but it was just the creeps that ended up finishing him off with the flux.
Up top, sentries down. With the vision, Roger just getting outside of the sandstorm range before he can commit with anything else. Does still have the shackles, so Mind Control has to be careful how close he comes. Roger may be looking for a potential wraparound as Mind Control will continue to sit it. Creep wave pushing in, and Solo and Roger a little too low to try and poke for this. Mind Control closing in on the 6. Actually going to look to lead it on to Solo. Cuts through the trees. There's the follow-up from Kuro, and that'll do it.
Very
the combo.
nice.
Perfectly done. Stun into silence into that stun again from Kuro. Gets the kill, and now with the 3 of them, they could look to try and collapse in on another. Roger's got to be careful.
This is the killing party, right? That's what we're going to call them for Liquid. This trio is going to run around trying to make space for quite a while for that Arc Warden. TA is going to start to get involved pretty soon once she's got the Desolator finished up, but they're getting kills out of this. I mean, it's a very strong lane here that they've got a lot of burst damage, and with the Rubik also level 6, now he can steal a nuke. Now he's got the Ether Shock too. Throw that in on top. They can burst down most of the targets on VP.
We'll see that important timing for Miracle. Midas is out and online.
But Ramses with treads, quad Wraith Band, and a Yasha
He
already.
just cleans up the jungle incredibly quickly. Easily before the minute comes around and the respawns are there. He's going to be able to farm at a pace that will keep him ahead for the most part of that Arc Warden, especially if VP continue to get these sort of early kills with him involved.
Yeah, he's jungling, and then as soon as you see the Metamorphosis come back up, their tower's also dropping low. He goes and wants to position himself in the lane. They can rotate heroes up there to defend, and speaking of a rotation, they have an Ember and a Shadow Shaman moving bottom. They want Miracle.
Is in trouble. Is there going to be any backup or anything able to save him already? No one in with the chain straight on top of him. No way out of there for Miracle as no one.
And they can turn this into a tower easily. They have Roger down there. He's got the Mass Serpent Ward, so they can look to turn this into pressure. On the side of Liquid, them turning towers into pressure is turning their kills into pressure is a lot more difficult. They mostly need Weehaw to be able to push those towers. They've gotten the mid one, and top is relatively low. But he just wants to farm till he has Death Zone. He's very close.
He is. He's still hitting those timings, Weehaw. Second highest on the net worth. He's keeping his cool. He's still ahead of no one.
The matchups are hard for him, just like we were talking about. How does he really get onto a target in this game? If there's an Ember Spirit or a Bat Rider there, he's going to be very dissuaded. Even versus Terrorblade, a super high armor hero versus a TA, this TB is 29 armor already, Owen. So if this
29.
TA does walk in, he can get kited, he can get turned on pretty easily. Has to be careful with his positioning.
My goodness, and Pasha instantly ready to make some move. He's just picked up the full boots to travel, has a smoke as well. So they've got to be very wary for sort of the reactions that he can come out with. Top lane Liquid, they're going to try and lead in onto Ramses, but it's hard with Solo by his side.
He's got Max Heavenly Grace. This is what we were talking about.
Ramses just turns, spots the meta, and with the burrow tackle going to commit.
My God.
Committed, mind control, he's struggling to get out of range, and he cannot. Ramses just runs him down.
I mean, with the Heavenly Grace too, he's not a squishy hero anymore. He's sitting at like 1,500 health because it's Max.
You cannot go on him if you're unable to disable the Omni. Solo is just going to make this Terrorblade impossible to kill.
We're gonna have to see GH go for stealing that Heavenly Grace so he can start throwing it onto his Templar Assassin so she can actually get into the back lines when she wants to get involved, because that is a big problem. Look at this TB, 1,640 HP with that 50%
This is a smart
status.
smoke as well. Look who they're going to find. They're going to find Miracle. This smoke movement from VP, Roger, Pasha, invading the jungle. They have the chain disabled, dragging him back through the Firefly. Miracle falling low. No one comes in for the final touch as well. They will lose Roger, but VP's mission an absolute success. That smoke play catching Miracle entirely off guard.
Right now, the vision on the map for Liquid, it's extremely limited. They've got some traps down, but their only really ward that they have is up top there. They have the one on the high ground there that's watching VP just take their tower because they can't do anything versus this Terrorblade, and the other one actually just expires. They had two in the enemy jungle that were trying to watch the Terrorblade farm, but he actually wasn't really there too much. He was only there for like 2 or 3 minutes maximum, and then just left and came back to the lane because of how strong he is.
And these iron timings for Ramsey just continue to be ridiculous. For like 14 minutes in, he has the Manta.
Yes, the Manta. Oh my God.
Between that and Solo, I don't know if they can kill this Terrorblade. They need to throw everything at it. They need to get the Epicenter online, get in with a full combo. But even then, if there's an Omni Knight behind him, he's going to get the Sunder off every time.
They need to get the Disable off. The nice thing that they do have is they do have the Soulbind, right? So Omni Knight, his spells are in pretty bad cast range, in particular that Heavenly Grace, so he has to walk pretty close to be able to use it onto his target. So if he does get caught by Soulbind into a silence, maybe that's where they can look to set it up, but it's still going to be very difficult when they don't have an initiator just yet. No Blink Daggers for quite a while. Weehaw getting his in like 1,200 gold, but Mind Control, he's going for his own Veil, so he can be tanky. I mean, he's died just from auto attacks like 3 or 4 times that we've seen, so he wants to be able to have his own way of survivability.
Mid lane, change connection onto GH. Ramsey's charging in. They get the Soulbind down onto the two of them, but they got the fuck the combo, and they go with the Burrow Strike. Mind Control leads him with the Sandstorm. Ramsey's with the Sunder, trying to help his brother out on no one, but no one. He's going to be able to run it away. No one's still alive for now as he keeps his distance. They try to lose Roger. Another change. No one continues to dance himself away. Has got a TP, but he will tick down to the damage that Weehaw was able to offer. They do get no one. Important goal for Weehaw. Keeps that blink timing, going to be coming in at a very good time. They need Weehaw's TA to pop off. It's a hard game to do against the Terrorblade, but there are definitely other targets that Weehaw will be able to bully.
Absolutely, and there we saw that Soulbind coming into play there. He gets it onto the 2 targets. They're able to actually focus fire somebody. And those traps, that's where most of the traps were actually positioned for Liquid. So we actually saw Ramses, you said he sundered, he started running away. He was very low. He got hit by a trap. It was lucky that he had his Manta.
It was an admirable attempt, trying to save no one out. It was ever so close as well, as it did give him that chance to jump away. But as you say, Weehaw prepared with the defensive, the offensive defensives.
Yeah. They're gonna have the Blink Dagger now on Weehaw, but Ramses does have his Metamorphosis available too. So we're definitely gonna see VP look to group up, look to make some kind of play here. Probably, I mean, they've got, it looks like it's gonna be that bottom tower. They have a catapult wave, and they also, I'm looking at their wards, and we already have, they have wards behind both of those tier 2 bottom, or like
deep.
Bottom and mid lanes. How the hell did they get those wards so deep?
Yeah, they're gonna know every single place that Miracle tries to head to farm.
Yep, everywhere he goes to play to farm, and where they're looking to set up. These, in this team, like you're expecting them to set up the defenses. In most games, they TP like a couple heroes to the tier 3, and then they start bringing in heroes to the tier 2. So if you see one of the supports walk by that ward bottom, that means they're probably setting up to defend for that bottom tower because he's set up on the tier 3.
Ramses out there, of course. He's having a fantastic start, fully focused enough. A lot of it down to this man, Roger, making that laning stage an absolute dream with his Shaman play. It's made it a very slow start for Mind Control. Liquid have now started to be able to make some plays.
Yep,
with this man as well. GH, Kuro, and Mind Control, as you say, being able to move around the map. They do have Disable, they have kill potential. Still unable to really slow down Ramsey's Terrorblade.
GH is gonna, okay, he is gonna, I was wondering if he was gonna do this game, if he was gonna actually go for the Aether Lens instead of going for some other different item. I actually love the Aether Lens this game because I think the best spells you can steal this game is from the Omni Knight. That Heavenly Grace is incredibly good, and we were talking about those short cast ranges. If he's able to get that one, he's going to be able to keep himself a little bit further in the fights, and Aetherland's overall on Rook, of course, is just a good item, but there's a couple spells here that he can use that benefit from heavily. Yeah, Lasso too. There's a lot of them that he does.
He can turn these fights around massively, GH.
Yeah. He can actually become like the better Omni Knight in a way if he's in the right positions.
Good D-Ward here from Kuro. VP are around. Gonna look to try and chase. Only Grayson Ramsey's getting him back up to full, and with the dive in, they've got him. Kuro cannot escape.
And they're at a tier 2, but Liquid, they're making a trade. A very fast one, too.
Oh, they're doing the Roche.
It's already pretty much dead.
They're getting away with it. I think they'll take that. They'll take that. Getting Roche, they'll lose the tier 2 tower. They're gonna find Roshan. Pasha has come across. They're not gonna get her in time, VP. Liquid, get the Roche. Aegis onto Weehaw.
Very nice heads-up move, and they're immediately porting bottom. They saw reactions porting on the Shrine top, so now they're looking for Ramsey.
GH starting to poke around with Ramses lifted up by the telekinesis. Roger's going to try and come in, but there's nothing he can do. A huge kill for Liquid. Roger trying for the TP out, but the Hex. GH has it ready. Will catch out a second as Liquid. Big momentum shift there. Roshan into getting 2 kills, one of them being the big bad Terrorblade.
And his meta's down for 100 seconds when he does respawn, so that's massive. I mean, they walked up aggressively onto that high ground there near the Shrine, and they saw the TPs come in. They saw, I think, both the Bat Rider as well as the Omni Knight around that Shrine. So they're like, all right, go time. There's a TP bottom. We've got a free way to set up for this. Very good moves there by Liquid.
And not mid, in fact, Solo is a little close to them here, Weehaw.
Whoop.
We'll chase him down a little bit. We'll see how far he wants to go. Another trap's out, but no one with the root. Make sure that Weehaw's chase comes to an end.
Yeah, it might be a 5-position Omni, but, you know, when he throws Grace on himself, instead of having 1,200 HP, he's got 2,000. So, makes him quite a bit stronger. Well, 1,800.
And more about this one, so obviously no one with the phase, the drums, the blade mail. What's so good and so appealing about getting the blade mail this game from, you think?
I mean, more armor versus that TA. If he gets on top of the Arc Warden too, you can do a crazy amount of damage. You even running into some Spark Wraiths and all that, right? He can just stand toe-to-toe and just get in the front lines. I think that's what he also wants to be, this, like, distraction. They look at their heroes, and who's their other front line, really? They're kind of limited a little bit on it, right? The Bat Rider is a little bit weird to just be that frontliner, so now he can kind of act as that if he tanks up with this.
And you can certainly feel, you know, with VP's lineup, with the way it's going so far, it's just all about making sure Ramses is the man to carry them, and that the rest of them could just, as you say, just sort of create this distraction and throw themselves in. Make all the space required for Ramses to either sit at the back of the fight with a Metamorphosis or just find this constant farm elsewhere on the map. But Liquid, their cause as a whole, are keeping up very well. Weehaw only just behind the farm of Ramses, who's pretty much even. The farm on this TA, and the fact that they did get that Roche. Now Weeha's in a great place to be. Takes a tier 2 tower from the top lane. No answer from VP.
I think that's also going to be My Control's Blink Dagger, so he's completely caught up too. He got that Veil early, but yeah, they're ready to fight, and they've got a lot of ways to combo. They're even just going to go immediately. They've got the smoke. VP, they have their Metamorphosis.
He's actually going to jump in immediately. Goes for the lasso. Onto Weehaw, but Weehaw, the Ink-12, given out to him by Kuro, comes out and Barrett. They'll be able to nuke down Pasha, free the GA. They had the Firebolt. They take down one. Can they get another? Serpent Wards are out, and Will Trap up Mind Control. The Shackles control from Roger gets taken. Weehaw actually dying there, loses the Aegis. The Soulbind combo comes out, bringing both Ramses and no one low, but Ramses, he's trying to get in, looks for the Sunder, takes it off the Tempest double. Miracle lays down the bubble. Holding their ground here, Liquid. Do they want to go back in? We are thinking about it, and he'll jump forward. Aggression from the TA, forcing VP to back off. So Liquid will be able to clean up the Serpent Wards, get themselves that extra bit of gold as it just ends. Offlane for an offlane, but of course that Aegis also being taken out of the hands of Weehaw.
Yeah, they take out the Aegis, but also VP, they're forced to use meta defensively. They can't actually set up to push anything out of it here. And we see the fear, you know, it's still very scary. You get soulbound up, there's a lot of different ways that can work. Rubik with that soulbind is very intimidating. You get double fade bolted, double lifted, that increased duration as well from Arcane Supremacy. It's terrifying, and of course, he has the lasso stolen.
He's got the lasso, and he's very close to having the Blink Dagger gold. If there's any way that they can sort of get him that extra couple of hundred before the lasso wears off, they can make huge plays.
They're giving him the mid lane. Weehaw comes up and hits it once, and he's like, oh, sorry, GH, please farm your Blink Dagger.
You got to give GH the priority.
Yeah. That's going to give him an instantaneous grab to even look for that Ember Spirit, or maybe even get that double jump. Yeah, that Grimstroke.
They're going to have that timing. 30 seconds and Soulbind will be there.
Yep.
This is a huge play that Liquid could look to execute. The BP will have to be very careful to how they respond to. Obviously, as you said, Metamorphosis, GA's down, the two sort of big ones that have allowed VP to take those earlier, easier kills. If Liquid can strike whilst they're down, and there it is.
There it is.
GH has the blink. Things falling into place for Liquid.
3K gold advantage and about a 5K experience advantage for them at the moment now too. And here we go. They're looking. They're grouped up. They've got the smoke. Bring the killer trio, as we were calling them, of course.
Yeah, they're growing up to be some big boys right now. GH, a man to lead them all, level 13 as well on his Rubik. He is having a very impactful performance, and it's just about to get even more impressive if they can do something with this blink.
VP's trying so hard to protect their jungle. Look at those sentry wards they've blanketed around, just trying to find the vision that Liquid has. And also the traps, right? You have to have a lot of sentries down versus the Templar Assassin. Just be sure you're not under those pesky traps.
See, Serpent Moore's trying down. They are going to be farmed up. But at the least, I guess it gives you that info. Anytime you sort of drop them down like that, you know you're going to have someone react to it. So we'll sort of give VP the knowledge that Liquid are heavily focused around that mid lane.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to force lanes in at the moment. I think they're waiting for their next items, and they don't really want to get a fight in a bad position. So push the lanes in as much as possible so you get a better map read. So now we see those lanes are all pushing out, and VP's like, wait a minute.
VP's out of there.
Yeah,
they're all back to the base.
Right, you see bottom, it's pushing in. Top, that Terrorblade's pushing it in hard. As soon as they pushed in mid, they went missing. You know something's up. They all sit in their base.
Maybe they'll come back out now the miracle shows. See if that's going to be the case. Still a bit of time left on the smoke. As VP still hanging around the tier 2. Very wary that this could be a bit of a trap. Pasha starting leading for Pasha. He's going to start the fight. But there's the counterplay for Liquid. Pasha's dead. Change comes down to both Weeha and Kuro. The VP, they've lost their offlaner.
He either needs the BKB or he needs the Force Staff before he's going to be able to try to make those plays now that the double blink daggers are up. These two heroes, Sanking and Rubik, they're some of those instants that we call, right? They're like pretty much instant disable. So as a Bat Rider, it's very difficult for you to actually set up for a lasso play there. Even if you get that great vision advantage, they have that quick reaction and that super far distance, of course, with that Aether lens on the Rubik too.
Pushing on Liquid. 4K lead, another tier 2 tower taken.
Miracle above Weeha for a moment there, starting to approach that farmer, the Terrorblade. He's starting to get very online too. Full Mjolnir going for that Shadowblade next so he can look to keep pushing those side lanes out and looking for any, I mean, he can kill those squishy heroes too if they are split pushing, in particular Roger, when he does have that Shadowblade finish up.
And it is their fact at the moment. VP, all their eggs in the basket of the Terrorblade.
Yep.
Liquid have that split, both the Templar, Assassin, and Arc Warden able to offer so much at this moment in time. It's top lane Pasha starting to cut the creeps. Will instantly go for the TP out. Liquid won't quite be able to get on top of him, as he's able to sort of draw the attention, in fact, of the entire team of Liquid, make that space for Ramses to continue to stay at the top, and at the least for no one to try and sort of catch back in. He's building up the gold. He's got 3,200, so we are going to soon see him pick up that impactful line, and whatever he may decide it to be. I mean, what do you think could be appealing this game? Is he thinking about the Radiance, or does he still need to continue sort of getting these smaller items that are going to help keep him alive?
I'm not too sure. That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking it's the Radiance this time, but I mean, he doesn't even have Maelstrom this time, which is very unorthodox that we haven't been seeing much on that Ember Spirit. So it might be that Radiance. Maybe he thinks he might just need a BKB so he can act as that distraction frontliner.
BKB
perhaps,
feeling, yeah.
right? Like I'm not too sure, because like they're lacking that frontline still. It's really hard for them to make a distraction for the Bat Rider to get an initiation that's gonna work out for them. So yeah, I'm curious to see what he's gonna decide here.
Could you even go as crazy as something like a Hex Rush?
Not crazy about that.
You're not crazy about that?
No.
I'd like to see him do something different. Early Hex could trip up a TA.
He wants something else that helps him transition, though. And mid lane,
Weeha instantly jumps in. Ramses, he's going to respond with a Metamorphosis. Starts to head forward. Mind control, Burrow Strike to blink out. They'll take that, Liquid. Metamorphosis used, as long as they can limit how much VP can do during it. That's another big win for the timing of Liquid.
Yeah, GH has the Heavenly Grace as well for his team too, so he throws it on one of his cores, and they're much scarier versus VP. Not going to be able to control them at all.
Very important time as well. 20 seconds and Roshan will be back up. We saw how quickly Liquid was able to get it before. VP, they'll certainly going to try and defend it, but it's going to be hard because at the same time, Metamorphosis will begin to come to an end, so they will not have the meta for that potential attempt on Roshan that Liquid may go for.
Yeah.
They'll get a tier 1 tower. Oh, actually look for the jump in. Inkfrost done out to Ramsey. They're trapping the shackles. Oh my God! Ramsey up with the TA. It's the Sunder. Ramsey's back at the full. They'll now turn towards We Are. Great serpent block here from Roger, trapping We Are in place. he will be able to cut his way out. Goes for the map of VP. They're chasing down for the metamorphosis. It's come to an end. But the remainder of that BKB Weehaw continues to run back. No one jumps in, but he doesn't have the damage to kill Weehaw. Away with the sleight of
It's so close.
He's trying, but he cannot. They found the two supports of Liquid, but not Liquid. They're ready to turn. Mind control does get nuked down. Solo offers the purification on Roger. The Spark Graves are chasing him though. They'll lose a third on VP. 3 for 3. Solo and Ramsey stayed alive on VP. Miracle and Weehaw remaining in the game on Liquid.
Man, that damage that comes out with the Soulbind, with the Rubik, you have to always be well aware that those double nukes that can come out from the Rubik as well as from that Grimstroke. 4 Stroke of Fates coming out from KuroKy in that backlines. But we did see no one. He committed into that backline and actually did get brought down by Weehaw. He did not have the mana to kill him.
Here we go into the pit. Liquid, we know they can do it fast.
He still hasn't bought anything on the Ember Spirit. 4,200 gold.
He's saving. There it is.
The full BKB. Okay, that's...
You got it.
I was feeling that it could be just because he needs to be that frontline hero for his team. But that last fight, you see, you saw Liquid had a 4K advantage, right? But the fact that Ember Spirit also has 4K gold in his backpack, like, that's an 8K advantage. And
that's quick
he's a lot weaker.
Yeah.
Because of all of it, even though they somehow get that Sunder off. Ramsey's almost got burst down instantly, but...
He didn't, GH. Well, we found it. They'll get a freebie VP as GH. Getting a little cheeky out on his own. I mean, Ramsey is sitting very close to the Skadi. After that Skadi, does he himself have to say, I've got to get a BKB too? Can you continue to rely on your Omni and just go fully offensive after the Skadi? Because you've got a lot of stats to play with.
I'm feeling like he might do it, but after seeing him get bursts like that, it also puts a little bit of a fear. Like, how much damage he really just took from just getting soul-binded and double nukes from 2 different heroes, he might want to actually go for it just to be safe. And there's always that fear for Solo, like we were saying. If he just gets bound there next to Terrorblade and gets silenced up, it can really change everything.
And this is going to be very deadly. Miracle, when he has the Hex,
oh man, yeah,
out of the Shadow Blade, that's all his job needs to be in these fights, really. As long as he's there to follow up a strong Soulbind from KuroKy, it's going to be hard for VP to react to, especially at this time where, at the moment, it looks like he should have that Hex online before Ramses gets a BKB on top of the Skadi, if he indeed is going for that. At the moment, he's not even buying those 2 parts of the Skadi. Maybe he's even thinking now, screw finishing the Skadi, I need that BKB
I think that might be what it is, because
it could be appealing.
I'm looking at like all the damage that they have, and it's so much magical damage on Liquid, and they also have so much amplification too. They've got the Sand King with the Veil on top 2. Rubik, of course, his Arcane Supremacy is going to buff whatever spells he has, but that's going to be a lot of damage on top of Mjolnir. The Mjolnir effect, even with a Veil too, that starts to add up a lot versus a Terrorblade.
He would. So he does decide to finish the Skadi. Will not go for the BKB play yet.
He's trying to hold on to buying it as long as possible. He wants to keep the 10-second BKB for that late game, of course, but might need it. As we see Serpent Wards, of course, committed, and they're going to get cleaned up very quickly here by Liquid. Very minimal damage.
Built for mind control. Trying to finish off a Shiva's guard this game. I'll do with the extra illusion control, and yeah, we can see, of course, a lot of money being given up by the Serpent Wards this game, and the large majority going the way of Miracle's Arc Warden. And he's at the top now, just sitting very, very close to Ramses, but just ahead. Weehaw, item-wise, Butterfly's nearly done for the TA.
Yet to die on the TA as well this game. 3-0 and 4. Weehaw having a very good game. In particular, versus what we were talking about is Ember Shield plus Ember Spirit plus Batrider. Just the Flame Guard plus the Firefly versus Refraction is very annoying to play against, but he's had a spectacular 30 minutes here so far. As he looks like he's kind of baiting down bottom, and we see that clone walking into lanes. Miracle starting to look for some gank plays with his Tempest double.
All he needs is that 1 Hex on the Soulbind, and obviously having the double Hex potential himself. The amount of lockdown that Liquid can execute on VP's lineup is ridiculous. So 1 gets doubled up by the Soulbind, then you've got the second one to offer on to another. That's 3 heroes taken out of the fight if your fingers are fast, and we know Miracles is certainly going to be fast enough. VP's got to look for the jump. Solo's got to be incredibly careful. Has to hold on that GA for the opportune moment. We know he can do it. We've seen it before here on the main stage, his Omni Knight. He will get the timing right.
He has to be more careful though, right? Because he's a 5-position Omni. We've been seeing a couple more games where you're a 3-position Omni and you got a Crimson Guard and
I mean, it works.
That is the first BKB charge. He just got it. That is a painful one.
That's the birthday BKB.
Because that's the 60 seconds now on cooldown where they want to maybe make a play, right? Aegis is going to be, actually, you know, Aegis is going to be ticking out at the same time as that BKB comes back up, so. They can maybe make a play as soon as the BKB does come up. But now he has his own way to protect himself, right? The Bat Rider can actually BKB and grab targets. Now he just has to be careful to not get soulbound and then walk next to a target and then get grabbed up together, and then he'll have some trouble from that. But he won't be able to get lifted or stunned, so he'll have a lot of more freedom to bring a target to his team to be able to just rip them apart. But yeah, gonna have to wait now about 25 more seconds. And yeah, like I said, it's actually the exact same timing as the Aegis gets reclaimed on Liquid. So. Not the worst case scenario.
And they go, VP. Smoking up Ramsey's DD.
Yep. He's actually queued up the Satanic for the meantime until we see maybe what happens in the next fight, or if, yeah, however strong he feels.
I mean, with that amount of armor and HP, it's going to still be very hard to burst. But even if he does get Hex, as long as there's some sort of save from Solo.
Still a lot of magic damage, though, on the side of Liquid.
And it is all on him because, again, you see no one's farm. It's remained behind the sort of entire game as the Ember Spirit. He isn't that terrifying, really, for Liquid. Maybe for the backlines, if he's able to get the good jumps and able to burst down the squishier heroes. But even then, you know, for Liquid, as long as they sort of focus the Mass Disable and Control onto the Terrorblade, the fight shouldn't be too hard for them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's probably why he's also just going. Okay, he switched it.
He switched it. Cool.
We're sitting there and we're like, there's a lot of magic damage.
He really needs it. It would have been a risk. He would have certainly been the player to take that risk, but a very, very respectful decision there to get the BKB.
Solo.
He's going to suffer without it. And then
he is very far from home.
He's out a little bit of an adventure down the mid lane. There's no hope for him there. I mean, that's why he needed the BKB. He knew Solo was about to feed.
He was super far up. No one else is even near him, and Liquid immediately, they're like, okay, 30 seconds, we've got a window to try to look for anybody on the map here. Our lanes are in good spots. We also have an Arc Warden who can freely push them out.
And with the smoke, we'll see who they can grab, Roger. He's enjoying a peaceful life, farming up a creep, but now he's dead. He's dead and gone.
It's a trap indeed. That Centaur was a trap.
He got it.
He did. And now they're starting to get pressured too much by these wards, by these traps all over the place. Pasha's had it. Finally picks up the gem. I don't even know how much money Solo spent on Sentry Wards so far this game, because I've been seeing the map just completely littered with them.
Oh, it's a lot. He's down there at the bottom of the net worth, and that's because he's being a good support, getting the detection out.
He also did not even take the GPM talent this game on the Omni Knight. He took the Purification AoE. Little bit different. Usually you do see those Omni Knights take the GPM, especially as a support. That's a free ward every minute, right? Yeah, interesting.
A miracle. Items continue to roll in for him. He's got that all-important, well, not only offensive, but maybe more so this game as a defensive counterplay. Anytime Ramses tries to get his hands on anyone, that Ghost Form will be offered up by the E-Blade.
I mean, we also talked about how much Magic Burst Liquid has. You have a Grimstroke ulti plus a double Ethereal Blade on top of a Magic Burst.
Oh boy.
There's going to be some dead targets there if they don't have Magic Immunity. But they do have those BKBs on the 3 cores, exactly. So,
which they absolutely needed, but still, 11k lead for Liquid. The 2 very farm cores continuing to stand there against the lone Ramses Terrorblade at the top.
Yeah.
He's the only one with the power at the moment on VP. Everyone else very far behind.
VP, they see Kuroki dewarding at the moment. They're trying to get this catch. No one.
See what he can do. Jump in, starts to play around. See, be committed. He really wants this, but backup is coming in. GH, he's got the Heavenly Grace stolen, and Kuro's able to walk out, and that's a BKB charge down for nothing.
The chains hit the creeps. They hit both the creeps. He actually did not get it onto the hero, so Kuroki just walks away, unharmed.
Down at the lane as well, Miracle. He's going to try not to give it the Tempest double he won't need to. Dies before VP's able to kill it.
Everything going the way of Liquid still right now.
I mean, Ramsey's sort of against all the chaos. He is still 5-1-7. His farm still remains impeccable, and he has got the money for the Scythe, not for the Scythe, for the Reaver at least.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 510 last hits at the 35-minute mark. This boy's been farming real hard this game, and he needs to carry his weight for sure. It's going to be a hard one versus all these disables, but like we said, he does have the 10-second BKB. He does have the Omni Knight behind him, and he's approaching toward that Satanic.
It's very close. The Shiva's Guard finish from Mind Control is Certainly been able to pick up his game from a rough lane.
Both teams are just farming it up until that next rush. That's going to be that big deciding fight around that area. They still have a trap in the pit that VP hasn't been able to take out. And I'm looking at the control. It's between the traps and the wards and the spark wraiths. I saw Miracle also take the level 20 -2 second spark wraith cooldown. There's just vision everywhere. Look at this Roche pit. It's just completely scattered with ghosts and traps. Walking into that is going to be difficult for the supports of VP.
Satanic done. Maelstrom also out for no one. It's obviously a lot later than you usually see on the Ember Spirit, but still that extra little bit of a jump up on his damage. Not going to be a crazy amount though. And still has to be careful about getting disabled before he pops the BKB. It's all about when VP commit with the BKBs, commit with the Metamorphoses. All about those timings, and Roshan is going to be where they'll head towards next. Ramsey's starting to tickle it down a little bit with the illusion, but they know that Liquid's going to be around here, and they know that Liquid is going to be looking to take a fight.
It's got the Aghanims upgrade on this Roshan too.
They'll go for the wraparound VP. Looking to try and catch them off. Scan as well from VP confirms Liquid's position. Miracle on the front lines. If they can get this jump, it'll be pretty big. He'll go for the Shadow Blade. They've got the gem on Pasha. They see him. They drag him back. They've got the big catch. They burst him. Not a tempo on the mind control. He's in with the Epson. It doesn't matter. Ramsey stands his ground with the BKB. Mind control is with the bubble. From Miracle's Tempest Tower, keeping mind control safe, but not safe enough. Ramsey still gets the kill. Buyback from Miracle. He's looking to turn the Hex out of two of them. Ramsey disabled. He needs help. He needs it now. No one trying to come up the side of VIRTUS. He gets it off. Back up to full. No one jumps into the front lines trying to chase down Miracle. If they could kill Miracle, it'd be huge. They'll turn back towards the easier kills. The Tempest doubles down.
Oh my God.
As well. Triple kill for Ramses. Now towards We Are. We Are's going to run. Buyback for the two supports of Liquid. Cheesy pop. We Are. Hexed up. VP. They surrounded the shackles from Roger. They lock him down. We Are's dead as well. Ultra kill for Ramses.
He wants more.
They're not done yet. Pasha. He's keeping the Firefly on Kuro. VP's chasing him down. Kuro's brought top. Hex it up.
The rampage.
Gets the rampage. VP. What a smoke, what a fight, but it ain't over yet, Ramses.
He's so tanky. His status resistance too, and Solo is still right behind him.
Back from Weeha. He's coming
He's
to
got
the
the wraparound.
He's able to find no one. Can they get more? Disable on Ramses. Madness.
It's under.
Yeah, Ramses. He's back up to full. They have the disable. Do they have the damage, Pasha?
His BKB's ready to go.
He's back up. Mike John jumps in, but he cannot do anything to help for now. As Ramses casually, coolly TP's out. Back to base.
Oh my God, they had a 12k gold advantage when they walk up into that fight. They forced buybacks on top of a shrine, and they still take the fight.
Oh, they need to buy back those well, VP. They don't want to give this Roche away to Liquid. If they could take Liquid out of the pit, get the Roche for themselves, this game will entirely be back in VP's full court.
The most ideal grab possible for Pasha. He gets Arc Gordon right in the front line.
The birthday man did it there with that lead in that opening. To the chaos that ensued, the jump in. He had the detection, he had the control, no hesitation, the smoke into the high ground scan. VP's move, getting them back in on this game.
They also, it was just such a cluster, like such a scary place to fight too, because they had the ward trap too on one of the heroes. I couldn't even tell who it was at some point, because it's such a scary place. There's so many different illusions and things there. I even saw Ramses. He was double stepping back and forth. He was like, should I walk up this hill? No, I shouldn't. Oh wait, yeah, Solo's still alive. Okay, yeah, I can go back in. He kept making like the double step backs, but that one, VP are able to take it, and now they're all back up, and Meta's back up in 5 seconds.
That's a huge commitment from Liquid to try and slow that fight, turn it around. 4 buybacks being used.
How many were used for VP as well? They used what?
Just,
1, 2...
They used 3.
3, okay. 4. 3. Sorry, 3. You're right. Apologies.
Come on, folks.
The other one didn't have enough gold for it. Come on,
Yeah,
give me a break.
Well, neither of them did. There's 5 about it if you consider that. You can't even count either way.
No, he bought something, I swear. Okay. I'm just kidding. A full MKB now finished up for Ramsey.
Oh boy, he's the man you gotta watch.
Yeah, that butterfly was a little bit annoying, but yeah, now he's got even more so.
Ramsey's Terrorblade. One of sort of the classics from him as well, back when he started to really grow in power and popularity.
Oh yeah.
His Terrorblade, something that wouldn't be let through many of the drafts.
Oh no, and also back then, there wasn't a thing called 50% status resist Heavenly Grace, or people weren't really picking it much, at least. Now it's a Terrorblade with pretty much impossibilities to get disabled. They have to try to find Solo and kill him before the fight starts.
That's right, we got that status resist on top of what the Satanic status
Uh-huh.
And you add that together, it's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot. I won't give you the number because I don't know it. But it's a lot, so we need to know. It's a lot. 3K lead still for Liquid, but certainly shaken up in that last play from VP.
They're still just positioning themselves on this high ground, but they had that pretty good positioning the last time. They just were not, it didn't seem like they were prepared for that quick jump, even though they were holding buybacks, even though they were on their stride, and it looked like they were, VP still were just able to get that big grab.
You see this farming from Ramsey's highest amount of last hits of 41 minutes. It's probably the highest amount of last minutes of 51 minutes.
Last minutes?
Last minutes, minute lit, CS, time, relative, who knows? But around the pit once more. We saw this story.
The rates are down.
Last time. Hex out, Ramses.
Look how little time that Hex lasts. He's status resisted up.
That's status resistance.
He's up to that 65% when he's at it with the Satanic.
He can resist all the statuses. And
He's just jumping in.
GA's gonna report. Ramsey just booked the BKB. Those different minis turned up and now ready to turn towards mind control. The Metamorphosis is out. Miracle loses the Tempest.
Oh the DD.
The lasso. They've lost GH. Now moving up. Liquid's got to back up a Roger. The control. He has mind control in his shackles. Jump forward from Pasha. They're chasing off for more. No one puts the BKB. Change on to Weehaw. Weehaw has the refraction. He's trying his best to run away. Will be able to blink out. VP. They're probably going to want to try and chase this. You know, no one wants to. He's going to settle back though. Turn towards the mid lane. Maybe Miracle does show.
Right there. It's so smart that he does have the Meld Dispel there for Weehaw. If he doesn't have it, he's dead to that slight change there.
He's gone.
But he's got the Meld Dispel and he's able to actually walk out of that chains and not die. If he dies there, that would be like so devastating there for Liquid. That would be the Roche, and that would be even more because he does not have buyback.
This game straight back to even on the numbers, and with this Roche, VP's going to be ahead. Into the pit they go. Who's going to grab the Aghanims? Do you want to give it a no one?
I feel
make his game a little better.
I guess you would. I feel like Solo's even had an argument for it there, but I feel like no one's like I need this.
That's a pity, Aghanims.
Yeah, I really need this, guys.
The farm's not been there, but now, yeah, with that Aghanims, once he hits 25 as well, it doesn't matter sort of how the rest of the game went. He's going to be doing a lot in these fights.
Absolutely. He's going to be able to get to those backlines so easily and make the Rubik and the Grimstrokes time that much more difficult.
Look at that. A hefty turnaround there in favor of VP as they now hold the lead.
Have we ever seen actually a Terrorblade get an Aghanims yet in an official game?
Not Dev, I don't think so. Not in any of the ones I've seen. I've not even seen it in any of my pubs.
I've seen it. It's the that 3 second fear. Yeah, I mean, they run away from you. But yeah, of course, they give it the Ember. He's gonna be able to get to those backlines, and Liquid, they're shaken up. They had a firm grasp of this game in the network. They had some good map control, but VP, when they got that gem, when they got those triple BKB timings, they really hit a big one.
They really, really did. There's obviously Liquid with the draft, you know, with the Arc Warden. It's not as in they're sort of entirely out of the comfort zone at this point of the game. There's still a lot they can do, but it's certainly not going to be as easy as it looked to be about 10 minutes ago for them.
No. They're just being able to like hit targets. Sure, they've got all this magic damage and everything, but Miracle's damage isn't really that insane, right? Like his right click, he's not really going to be doing that much versus a Terrorblade who's sitting at 50 armor, especially when he's only sitting at like 230 damage or 215 damage. He's more of the spellcaster right now on this Arc Warden.
They have to find some sort of way to disable both Solo and Ramses. Anytime Solo's available to throw out a spell or two, Ramses just becomes an impossible target to kill.
Yep. The talents that Solo chose in this game, he took the purification anyway, and then he took the 90 damage. He's like, I don't really want to be too high level. XP gain, sure, I get all these like talents and stuff, but like, I just need to really just click Heavenly Grace on my guy. They take the 90 damage on the Omni Knight, so it's funny to see that as a 5 position.
5 minutes in, important time as well to note that the buybacks earlier used are slightly back on both sides.
Yeah,
they're coming back.
Arc Wardens is back up in 5 seconds. Yep. Weehaws is back on in about 50 on that Wind Ranger. Wind Ranger. I just said Wind Ranger. It's Weehaw. I just snatched his natural.
I don't blame you. I thought it was on Wind Ranger the whole game. These could have just been a new cosmetic. It's VP.
Heavenly Grace is out. Miracle going for the backlines there. He's got Solo hexed up.
A significant amount of damage to Solo. And Tempest Double still alive, but be able to open a little bit more of this. Ramses is going to go back and jump in for Pasha immediately onto the backlines. He's been able to grab the Grimstroke, dragging him in. Miracle still with the Tempest Double on the front, but they've lost Kuroki. Dead for 70 seconds. His buyback was available, but he doesn't have the money. The timing's there, but he's not going to be available for a full minute for this defense. And VP can push up mind control, goes in the back with the epicenter though. Hunter turns towards Microshot, the two of them. He's still healthy at the moment. Miracle trying for the disable, the lift up as well from GH, but GH falls.
The spark rate damage building up on Ramses too.
Finish him, they can once. They'll get the Aegis out of his hand. No one is dead without buyback available here. They'll get the control. Can they kill Ramses a second time? The chain hexes are out. Weehar's moving in with the damage. The melt bash. Ramses BKB's pop. He's trying to run. He needs the target to help him, but he cannot find it. Sunder was still unavailable for 15 seconds there. As Liquid, they're looking for more. Jump into Solo. The trap's out as well. Mike controls in with a bar strike. That's Solo dead as well. He's dead without buyback. No one's buyback will be available. He'll be able to come back in, so will Ramses, but Liquid, a big defense, pushing back VP, able to pick them off piece by piece.
They got a bit too overexcited there, just walking up onto that high ground because of the bubble there from the Arc Ward, and they got split and they got gone on immediately from that Sand King.
And now it's the Liquid push. There's the buybacks, no one and Ramses straight back in the game. Liquid, they'll look to respect it, back away. They're more than happy with poking that out of them. Two huge buybacks gone.
No.
Fortification in time. We'll save the courier.
No one just died. Oh. He just died to the damage from the Tempest.
Oh no, no one. What have you done? There's no Ember for the defense. Liquid, they're just gonna take it out, take the racks. They may even take more.
The magic damage that's coming out from these spark rates at level 25, it just shredded him. He didn't expect it at all. Look at all these spark rates. Oh my God.
That mistake, what a way to, I mean, will it end the game? Was it 20 seconds? Solo will be back.
But 80 seconds, no Ember.
Liquid, no, he's just pushing on.
I mean, look at all these spark rates. He's setting up like 20 of them around the area.
We are just looking to end the game. Pasha, he'll jump in, go for the lasso attempt. Ramsey with the BKB, the metal as well, focusing down, but Weehar's fine. They'll keep it safe. Miracle using the E-Blade to keep it protected. The refraction's back up. He's able to get the blink away. Ramses, Manta style, turns towards Miracle in his Tempest double. Solo's trying to come back in to help him out. They've lost Solo, they've lost Ramses. Liquid, he's clearing up the kills. GG is called, and Liquid will take game one. After an ending that no one is not going to be feeling happy about. Caught out like that, and for the most part, of course, a fantastic game between these two teams. But that ending for Liquid, they just walked it down mid.